All right, guys, what you're seeing on screen here are the possibilities for men in their late 20s and early 30s. So on the left, you've got the average man's physique in his late 20s and early 30s. 26% body fat, putting on a beer gut, not a good look. Versus on the right, you've got Mike Thurston, who is a men's fitness influencer, lifestyle guy. And what this shows you is what is possible for you in your late 20s, early 30s. The possibilities for men are completely endless. You can be an unattractive guy who's completely out of shape, or you can be ripped, fantastic shape, looking great. Moving on, this is Mike's lifestyle. He travels a bunch. He runs businesses online. He creates content. He's got great friends. He goes all over the place linking up with people. It's a lifestyle that most guys don't get to experience because this is what the average guy is doing. He's stuck in a fluorescent lit cubicle that looks absolutely depressing and soul killing. It's plastic, dealing with Bonnie at HR, yapping at him and all this bullshit. He's alone at home when he gets done at the job. So he leaves this fluorescent lit cubicle office, drives home. He's bored. He's watching TV, sports, whatever the fuck, with no purpose and passion in his life, no one to really talk to or connect to. Even if he's got friends, he doesn't really connect to them. And when he's at the work, he looks like the Fight Club guy. It's literally the reason Fight Club resonated is because so many guys are in this situation where they're literally in a soul killing job they have no passion for, no connection to, and they just feel completely out of touch with reality because of this thing. And then on top of it, the average person in America today is making $39,982 per year. So after tax, you're making what, less than $3,500 a month? It's fucking brutal, guys. Like, you can't live off that. That is the contrast again of what is possible for men in life. Mike Thurston versus this shit. Then right here, this isn't Mike Thurston, obviously, but just, these are possibilities of things that I think, every guy wants this. He doesn't want what the average guy has, but this is like things that are possible. Being in great shape, being an attractive guy with a woman who's interested in you, who you find attractive, who's feminine, and she's in your frame, and she's submissive and supportive of you, and not giving you a bunch of fucking drama in your life, versus this is what the average guy's dealing with. By the time he hits his late 20s, early 30s, this is what it is. It's a nagging wife or girlfriend who's not into him. She's shit testing him all the time. She's going out and, girls' night out. She's not texting back. She's giving him drama. She's saying things like, you're always screwing up, right? Like, how many women are constantly just browbeating their man? You hear this shit all the time. Things like, we need to go see my family this weekend. Is that really what you want to do with your life, right? You want to go have a fucking chicken pot pie at your girl's fucking family's house and listen to her dad yap? Like, is this really what you want? Like, why are guys doing this shit with their lives? Like, this sounds absolutely horrifying. This sounds worse than the fucking cubicle. Things like, why can't you be like Chad at work? Like, she's really like pining after another guy, but she's with you because she settled for you. You know what I'm saying? Is like, this really what you want? This is genuinely the average guy situation, driving that fucking minivan down there for the kids. The kids don't respect him. Like, this is life, okay? This is what the average guy is dealing with. But thanks to these other pictures, you can see it doesn't have to be this way. These are two completely different futures for men in their 20s. You can hit 30 and you can be a guy who's in great shape with great connections, working a business online, traveling the world, making great money with women who are interested in him. Or you can be a guy working in a cubicle, making no money at a soul-killing job who's out of shape with a woman who doesn't respect him. You can just see how this is all the possibilities are endless for men. And listen, like, why not you? Why not you be that guy who does something great with his life? These people are not special. They just went and did things. They followed systems, and we're going to explain some of those systems in this video here. But like, why not you? Just ask yourself that. And listen, if you're watching this, you're ambitious. So you're probably already thinking, why not me? You're probably already feeling like I could do something with my life. But you got to understand, the normal life path has you fucked up, guys. The normal life path is things like this. Broken nice guy mindset. They pump this bullshit mentality into your head that makes you into this people-pleasing nice guy who never gets what he wants out of life, and he just goes along with the crowd. He just kind of does what he's told. He never thinks for himself. He has no balls, right? Like, this is what they program into you. They program into this unattractive, weak appearance, right? The food's unhealthy. The average person doesn't exercise. Like, the way the normal person lives produces an unattractive, weak appearance. A job that takes your freedom and pays you nothing. I mean, it's basically nothing. After you pay for the roof over your head, it's nothing. And that's if you can even afford a place to live. Like, barely that a lot of times for people. They have to split rent in an apartment. Like, you're raising kids in an apartment and things like that. Is that really how we're doing this? And like, it takes your freedom. I'll see these job postings sometimes, and it's like, they want you to work 10-hour shifts and weekends if needed, and they're paying you like 50 grand. I'm like, so basically they want your soul for like $3,500 a month and change. Like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is that? Like, it's just absolutely ridiculous. And like, this is the normal way people are doing it. You got to deprogram this shit. They've got you fucked up on this stuff. Sexless relationships with women who don't respect you. That's the normal life path. We already explained this. No friends, or if you have friends, you don't really connect with them, but you keep them around because you're lonely. It's like you've got like that one friend you have a beer with that you don't really relate with. He's kind of a narcissist, or he's got a big ego and you just don't really enjoy hanging out with him. But it's like, who else are you going to talk to? Like, this is what you're stuck in. Like, the average guy has a fucked up mindset. He's a nice guy, people pleaser with an unattractive body and a job he doesn't like that pays him nothing. He's got a sexless relationship or no girls at all in his life, and he has no real connections and friendships. It's like, this is what the normal life feeds you. You got to understand this. If you have ambition in life, you got to fucking avoid this like the plague. You got to get away from this shit. And then you look for answers in self-improvement, but this isn't it either. This is the big unlock, guys. You know, I did self-improvement for a long time. I thought self-improvement was the key. We just got to constantly keep getting better. But this shit is just like, it's missing something at the core. There's a problem with self-improvement. I think a lot of people are starting to figure this out. Self-improvement is only half of the equation. Okay? That's the big thing with it. It prioritizes constant improvement, but to what end? You know what I mean? It's like, you do the cold showers, you read the self-improvement books, you optimize your sleep score, you do all this shit, right? But like, what was the point of all of it? And I figured this out. You know, I was like, I started chasing things that I figured out I didn't even want in life. I was like chasing down, like, you know, I want to build a business with a bunch of employees under me. And I was like, I don't want a bunch of fucking employees. I don't want to manage that. Like, that sounds awful. Or like, you know, people will be like chasing down, I don't know, like they're taking cold showers and they don't really know why they're taking cold showers, or they're just doing all this shit, right? Like, they're constantly doing stuff. They don't even know why they're doing it. They're going for a fucking run and listening to an audiobook, or like the self-improvement people are telling them, like, it's like, it raises the bar every time too. You'll notice this, like, self-improvement's never enough, right? It starts with like, self-improvement is like, hey, take a cold shower. And next thing you know, they're guilt tripping you for listening to music instead of an audiobook in the car. You see how this shit works. Like, they started doing this to me, and this is where I had to draw the fucking line. They were like, you know, you're just wasting time if you're not, if you're listening to music instead of listening to audiobooks while you're in the car. And I just, at some point I was like, why am I doing all of this? You know what I mean? Like, do I ever just enjoy my life at all? Like, it's just like they keep raising the bar. And then it literally got to, like, I shit you not, guys, it got to, not only are we not listening to music, but when we play the audiobooks, we're listening to the audiobooks at double speed because we don't want to waste any time consuming this information. And it's just like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? This shit gets completely out of whack. This shit got, the self-improvement train went off the fucking rails because everybody started thinking the whole point was just optimize their lives and be efficient and all this shit. And they lost the whole life that they were trying to live anyways. It was like, what are we doing here? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to balance this shit. So self-improvement is half the equation. I spent years obsessing over self-improvement thinking that was the answer. And yes, you do want to get better. That's important. But if it isn't balanced with a lifestyle worth working for, then why are we even doing it? Like, if I'm doing all this shit to have a great life, but then I get in the car and I have to feel guilty about listening to music because it's not self-improvement, why did I do any of this in the first place? If I can't have a warm shower sometimes because, you know, I just want to, because that's a problem, like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like, do I just spend every second of my life with a timer on reading fucking self-improvement books and shit like this? It just, you know what I'm saying? I hope that you understand this. I'm sure a lot of people get this. Like, this shit just went off the fucking rails. The self-improvement thing got way out of whack. And this is where LifeMaxxing comes in. This is where I invented this concept of LifeMaxxing and saying, like, this is not just about self-improvement. Yes, that's a big part of the equation, but it's about much more than that, and actually building a dope life, a life you would actually want to live. LifeMaxxing is the ultimate system for ambitious men, and that is why I made this video for you guys, because I want you guys to understand this and get on this path. This is what you need to do. Everybody that I do this with, I follow this philosophy. The guys who have adopted this philosophy, it is the way you want to live your life, okay? It prioritizes both. It prioritizes working hard and getting better. Yes, we're getting after it. Yes, we're trying to optimize and be efficient. When I work on my business, I try to be effective. I try to cut out distractions. I try to not be binge scrolling on my phone all day, like doom scrolling on it and shit like that. Obviously, we're trying to self-improve here. That is an element. You know, I box, I work out, I take my health very seriously. I do read and trying to improve my mindset. I try to make sure what I'm putting into my brain is putting me in the right state of mind. These are obviously extremely important things, but you need to balance it with cool experiences and a great lifestyle. So you need to do both. If we're just working hard, then what the fuck are we doing? But if all you're doing is just trying to goof off, you're not going to have a good life either. You need that balance. And so like right here, I go on a lot of vacations. I travel. I do things like that. That's really important to me. I go out with friends, smoking cigars, having a good time. I enjoy great meals. You got to do both. Work hard, play hard. That's what LifeMaxxing prioritizes. So how do you life max? LifeMaxxing goes against everything the normal life path tells you to do. It basically just stands in complete contrast to what they tell you to do. It stands in contrast to all 5 of those things we talked about. The broken nice guy mindset, the unattractive weak appearance, job that takes your freedom and pays you nothing, a sexless relationship with a woman who doesn't respect you, no friends or friends that don't really connect with you. It stands in contrast to all of those. It basically says the way the normal person is living their lives is completely fucked, and we're just going to do the opposite of that. And it really comes down to like a lot of this comes down to like the way the world works has changed, and LifeMaxxing embraces that the world has changed and we figure out how to win in the new world. Okay. So starting with, the nice guy mindset, LifeMaxxing replaces the nice guy mindset with the alpha douche mentality. This is what we talk about on the channel about being a douche. Lean into douche maxing, be a douche. And the douche has this bad connotation to it, but I've just taken that term and decided we're pimping it to our own uses here. Because douche is actually what you want to be. You want to be a douche. They treat douches like they're these toxic people who are like meathead idiots, but this is not the case. A douche is actually a guy who lives life on his terms, does cool shit with his life, isn't people pleasing, doesn't give a fuck. He gets the girls. Like, this is the guy you want to be. And he usually has integrity, if you actually notice as well. And that's another thing I'm obviously big on. So you want to do this. You want to go from doing what you're told to doing what you want. That's a big part of it. You want to go from living in fear to living boldly. Just go out and be like, what's the best story? What are we going to do here? Let's do some shit. Take a risk. Take a chance. Everything great in your life's on the other side of bold action. It's not coming in fear. You go from people pleasing to living authentically. People pleasing is all about you thinking that the approval of other people is more important than your approval of yourself. The douche mentality rejects this and says you want to live authentically. Be yourself to the core. It doesn't mean you're perfect. It doesn't mean you're, never going to make mistakes, but it means that we're going to be authentic in those mistakes. And if we do make mistakes, we'll accept that. We'll learn from our lessons. We'll do better, but we're not going to go around on this people-pleasing shit. Like if the girl, wants to do a bunch of stuff that you don't think is acceptable, you've got a backbone and you don't tolerate it. I'm going to be authentic. I don't care if you like me. That kind of energy. Go from playing it safe to saying, fuck it, we ball. You're going to die anyways, guys. Take a fucking chance. Like the average person's like scared to lose a job that they hate anyways. It's like, dude, go for it. Fuck you doing? You know what I mean? Just go do it. Fuck it, we ball. Let's make shit happen. Let's take action. Let's work hard, play hard. Let's leave a legacy. Let's have some stories. Let's do dope shit. Take that fucking chance, guys. That's what this mentality is all about. Going from putting women on the pedestal to seeing your own value. The douche mentality is about understanding as a man, if you make yourself great, then you are worth a damn. You know what I mean? And you should act like it when you're dealing with women. If she doesn't want to get on your time, if she doesn't want to date you on your terms, if she's giving you a bunch of shit, then get her out of your life. There's plenty of them out there. And if you've put in the work on yourself, you're not going to have a hard time getting options. You want to instill this new mentality in contrast to the mindset that the society feeds you. The society feeds you all that shit on the left. Doing what you're told, living in fear, people pleasing, playing it safe, putting women on a pedestal. That is what the normal life tells you to do. And none of that shit works. We know it. You got to throw all that shit out, okay? LifeMaxxing replaces being unattractive and weak with being aesthetic and dangerous. The ultimate combo for men is an attractive masculine physique combined with the ability to do damage. You want to look like you could do damage and actually be able to do damage. You want to have a physique that when you take your shirt off, girls are just like, damn. You want that kind of reaction. You want them to just be sliding in your DMs, you look so good. You want that kind of energy. You want to walk around, but you also know that if a guy tries you, you could just put him in a fucking coma. So you want that kind of energy about you. And then you just carry yourself like a real fucking G when you do that, okay? This is how I do it for me. It's weight training and boxing. Listen, I know guys who do Muay Thai. I know guys who do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But like you should be doing a martial art as a man. Go out there and get in the martial arts. It's been an absolute game changer for me. And then be hitting the gym. Build your fucking body, right? You want to do both, aesthetic and dangerous. That's what we're going for here. Prioritize your health as the foundation of a good life. So many people just throw out their health. And I just don't understand this for the life of me, guys. Like, if you don't have your health, what do you have? If you have all the money in the world, but you're dead, like what's it worth, right? Like prioritize your health. How are you going to have the dating life you want? How are you going to have the energy you want? How are you just going to feel good about your life and who you are and feel good in your own body if your health sucks? Prioritize your health. I will not sacrifice my health for anything. I'm not looking to buy cheap food. I'm not, going to give up my health to build a business. I'm like, no, I'm doing it all at the same time. I reject this notion that I got to give up my health to get things in life, or that I should eat junk food to save money. Like, what the fuck is that? Money's really not that important when you think about it. Like, why does everybody think money's so fucking important? I mean, obviously it matters, but it's a tool for a great life. It is not it's not the ends in itself. It's a means to an end. You understand that, right? And health is one of those ends that it is a means to. LifeMaxxing focuses on building a, quote, freedom business instead of working a soul-killing 9 to 5. So it's things like this, right? So for me, it's real estate. That's my main source of income. I'm a real estate agent, and I get my business through creating content on social media. And because of this, I'm able to, close deals from all over the country, right? I'll go on a vacation and have a house under contract, or I'll get a new client while I'm on vacation and all this kind of stuff. And I can do that because I control my own life. I am my own boss. And then I create content that I post online, which means I don't have to be there to manage this stuff. And I run my business online. You want to be looking at it like this. Social media and the internet have opened up the opportunity for what I call a freedom business. One of the mistakes that people make, and I just think it's a miss, is like they go from a 9 to 5, but then they create a business that is just as bad as a 9 to 5 almost. It's like they have to it's a business that demands all of their time. And like I mentioned earlier in the video, I almost made this mistake where I was like, I'm going to build this thing with staff and employees and all these systems and all this overhead and shit. And I was just like, I don't even want this. The whole reason I'm building a business is so I can have my freedom. Yes, I want to make a shit ton of money, but I'm going to do it in a way that pays me without sacrificing everything I want in life. Again, money is a means to an end. The LifeMaxxer understands this. LifeMaxxer does not put money as his top priority. He just says, okay, money is a tool to get everything I want in life. You see how that works, right? And so you want to build a freedom business, meaning a business that prioritizes having your freedom. Build a business that gives you freedom and a great lifestyle. That's what you want. You don't want just a business, you don't want to own the restaurant down the fucking street where you have to show up every single night to cook the fucking pasta sauce and you're barely breaking even and all the employees are like at your neck because they want a raise, but you're like, bro, I barely have any money to pay myself for this shit and you can't take a vacation. That's not what you want. You might as well just have a 9 to 5 and get some free health insurance and a 401k if that's what you're going to do. You know what I mean? The point here is we're trying to build something that facilitates a great lifestyle. And that's what a freedom business is about. So you want to prioritize the freedom element when you're focusing on building a business. For me, this is through social media. This is what I teach the guys in my school community how to do, is use social media to build a freedom business. I think it's the best path. You want to just understand that lifestyle is greater than wealth. Wealth is obviously extremely important. Again, I want to be rich. I got no fucking problem saying that, but I believe that lifestyle is the whole point of this shit. I want millions of dollars for the shit that I can get from it, not just to fucking hide it in the bank like Ebenezer fucking Scrooge. I don't care about a net worth stat. Look how rich I am on a fucking piece of paper. The whole point is to spend the money. You get what I'm saying? Again, I'm not saying be irresponsible, right? You need a savings runway and all this kind of shit, but we're focusing on lifestyle here, not just building wealth. LifeMaxxing understands that the world has changed. And if you want a great dating life, you need to embrace dating 2.0. This is the next element. So this is how dating used to be. It was guys thought that they went out to clubs and bars and screamed in a girl's ear trying to get her to go home with him. Or it was back in the day, the fucking happy wife, happy life shit of some guy who, pays the bills and she's a housewife. It's things have changed. And the biggest issue guys have right now is they're running off old models. They don't understand that the world has totally changed. In the modern world, women are looking for different things in a man. And the guys who kill it with women understand this and embrace this. Beta provider value traits are not valuable. So these are things like being reliable, paying the bills, all this kind of shit, taking care of her. These things are not valuable because she's got an inbox full of guys begging to do this for her. So she doesn't need it, and she has her own money now. Women don't need you like that. They don't need the beta male. And that's good because, listen, they were never attracted to this guy anyways. And so all that's left for you to do is focus on being that alpha guy she's actually attracted to. So instead, you need to focus on alpha hot traits. You want to go from trying to be this like stable, reliable guy who buys her flowers and does all this shit that they fucking told you to do in school or that your grandfather told you to do or something like that, to being a guy who just does it for her, who just gives her the fucking tingles. That's what you want to do, okay? And there's 5 key areas you want to focus on for this. The mindset, which goes into the douche mentality that we already discussed, but there's a lot more to it. Physical attractiveness, developing a masculine archetype, having a cool lifestyle, and building your status. These are the 5 main key areas of attraction. If you can get these things right, you're going to have a great dating life, okay? And I made a video called How to Be the Guy That She Tells You Not to Worry About. If you want to learn more about these 5 things, I break them all down in detail in that video. Go watch that video. Along with this, how you meet women today has changed. So like I said, it's not about going out to bars or clubs anymore, thank God, because like who the fuck really wants to do that? Like I used to do that in my early 20s. I'm like, I guess I'm going to go out here and hopefully get laid at a bar with some drunk slut. Like, ugh, like I don't even want to do that. That's fucking gross. I don't even like to drink. I don't drink. You know what I mean? And so like, it's just so inauthentic, so out of the way, so inconvenient and expensive. It's just like, why are we doing this? And it trashes your health, wrecks your sleep schedule. It's just nobody wants to do this shit. So just be grateful that things have changed because you don't have to do this bullshit anymore, okay? It's using social media to your advantage and having good photos that convey attraction triggers. It's pictures like this, you know, having a good Instagram and good dating app pictures and things like that is absolutely essential to dating 2.0 and doing well in the modern world when it comes to women. Guys, having pictures like this has been the biggest force multiplier on my dating life. It's gotten me way more than any cold approach or going to a bar, any of this bullshit people try to fucking tell you to do. It's literally just women are on their phones all day. You want to look like somebody they want to see when they're on their phones. They want to look at you and be like, wow, this guy's cool. He's got a great lifestyle. Who is this guy? You want her thinking that about you. You want her imagining a lifestyle with you. You want her to think you're an attractive, high status guy when she sees you online. And that's why you need pictures. That is the game. We don't go to bars anymore. You get good pictures of yourself. You make yourself an attractive guy. You present that online. That is how you play the game with dating 2.0. LifeMaxxing understands that friendships have also changed in the modern world. This is a big one people don't quite get either. You don't make friends based on location. You make friends based on algorithms. That's how things have changed. Back in the day, it was you were friends with your buddy down at the pub or your buddy, you know, down the street or your buddy at work. Like this is how you became friends with people. And like your life was very localized because we didn't have the internet. And so like you both kind of talked about the same old bullshit at work or the same old bullshit in your town or the fucking sports team or whatever. The game has changed now. Like the people you're going to relate to are people that have the same algorithm as you, meaning they're on the same social media algorithms. They're watching the same YouTube videos. They're consuming the same content, reading the same books, all this shit. That's how you make friends. And in the modern world, if you want to make friends, it's not about, you know, trying to force a relationship with the guy down the street and yapping about bullshit and going to the bar with him. That's not how this works. In fact, like the door is open to better friendships than ever before now if you understand how to play this game. The people you're going to most connect with are the ones on the same algorithms as you. Focus on getting into communities of like-minded people. That's what you want to do. You know, these online communities, like I've got my LifeMax school community. There's other ones out there, obviously, Reddit forums, I guess 4chan. I've never done that shit, but like, you know, like go on these forums, go and comment sections, get on Instagram. And this is another reason to have good pictures on Instagram because you look like somebody people would want to know. But this is where you're going to actually connect with people and build these relationships and things like that. It's with people online who are consuming the same content as you. You know, this is where you're going to create brotherhood and also create a network helping you to achieve your goals. And this is why I say these are better friendships because they're more aligned friendships. Yes, they are more difficult to obtain, but they are better because when you meet these people, they're all thinking the same way as you. And so when you line that up, it's just like full fucking speed ahead. You can achieve some great shit. Like here, my friend Kenny, I met him through YouTube. He was a YouTuber, and I ended up going to, I moved to Houston, Texas, and he was working out at the gym I was at. And so I just went up to him because I knew him from YouTube, and this is how we became friends. And this is one of the closest friends I've ever had. We lived on literally opposite sides of the country, completely different worlds, but we watched the same content, so we had the same mindset about life. And so our perspectives on everything are very similar because we have similar algorithms that we were consuming on. It's not like you're not going to run into these people. It's very rare that you're going to run into these people down the street. You're going to find them in online communities where they connect, and then you can go meet up in person and build these friendships this way. This is another reason having a freedom business is important. You build the freedom business, you can connect with these people. You can go travel to different meetup events and go do things and go on trips and network and connect with all of these people. If you're stuck behind a desk making $40K per year, you can't do this shit. This is what I'm saying. You got to get off that normal life path, guys, for real. The normal way of doing things is just outdated. In every way, it's outdated. It doesn't work. You know, like back in the day when a house was cheaper, back in the day when you made friends locally and women didn't have an inbox full of guys dying to take them out on a date or fly them out on a trip and all this shit. Like all of this worked. It doesn't work anymore. Okay, you got to understand the world has changed. If you want a great life, focus on the 5 key areas of LifeMaxxing. That is what you want to do. And guys, what I've done is I have started a movement of guys who want to LifeMax and want to get together and actually live this kind of life. And if you're serious about being a LifeMaxer and achieving this kind of lifestyle, you need to join the LifeMax group. Here's what Joey said about it. I originally joined just to get some accountability on my long-term goals, but I didn't expect my progress to be so fast. In just a few months, I've seen noticeable improvements in my health, and I've also laid the foundation for a profitable business. Would highly recommend to guys who are actually motivated to create real change. If you want a dating life of abundance, you want to make $10,000 plus per month through a freedom business, improve your mindset, become aesthetic and dangerous, and build your brotherhood, you need to join us inside. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'll talk to you later.